Hello there, how are you doing? Now in this video we're going to learn about encapsulation, accessors and mutators. Okay, so all these terms are used in frameworks like Laravel as well. So this knowledge you learn here will be super useful when you're learning Laravel. Okay, so talking about encapsulation, what is it? Okay, so private visibility is great to maintain the internal structure of your classes, right? As a developer, you can change the internal structure without affecting the external code. And what I mean by this is I'll show you in the example, okay? So don't worry. So for example, all the classes that extends it, I was talking about it earlier too, which we haven't covered yet. A child class can extend parent class, okay? So that's coming later. So how do we read or change these private properties or methods from outside or from other classes? Okay, so that's the main point. So encapsulation, and that's what we're trying to understand here. Encapsulate. For example, this method we created earlier, it has private set, all these properties set to private. However, we need to access these methods from outside, otherwise it doesn't make much sense. In most cases we need, but we don't want them to give direct access. We give them access but not direct access. Okay, so they can just say first name, they can do that, but what we can do is we can set accessors or mutators. Okay, these are simply methods. Okay, it's like getters and setters. Okay, we can do so using getters and setters. These methods are also known as accessors and mutators. Okay, so let's see them in action. At the moment, the customer, we had the error, right? When you try to get the first name, we got the error. But let's say our application need this functionality, we need that, and we also want to maintain the internal structure as private. We don't want to change that. We don't want to change that to public. So what's the solution? So that is what encapsulation is all about. Okay, so we're going to set these accessors and mutators. Okay, so let's begin by this solution. We need the first name. So how do we do that? So let's go to customer.php, and we're going to create some method, some accessor getter method. Okay, so right after this construct, let's create a function, accessor function. Okay, so function, let's make it public function, and we name it get first name. Okay, because we want to get the name. Right? So this function, what it will do is it will return, you guessed it, this first name. See that? It is private, however, we have this public function, and this one will return the first name. Now this has access to the properties and methods, so it works. So see that we can still maintain our internal structure. We don't change it. Sometimes we might need this and that other things, which you will see in the very next exercise. So let's not talk about that. Let's just do that. Get first name, return the first name. Okay, we can do the same with the surname as well. Okay? Get surname, this surname. Okay, now let's give it a try. Let me comment this out. Var dump first customer first name. Before we had error. Now let's see. Now in fact, get first name, this should be get first name. Okay, refresh. Right, awesome. So now it works. Even though the first name is set to private, however, because of this access method, we can access. That's awesome. So this is encapsulation. Okay, you encapsulate the code. You maintain the internal structure, and you provide these accessors and mutators. The whole point is, what if let's say we decided that we want this full name method. Okay, let's say we want to have a full name. functionality. Instead of first name and last name, we want to have full name. Now, just for that, instead of changing the internal structure, what you can do is you can simply create another accessor method and provide, just concat the first name and last name. We already have it. Let's not modify the internal structure, but all they want is the full name, so I can create another method, so that is the whole point. It helps developer to maintain the internal structure. Now every time you need this, you need that, and in that case, going and directly modifying the class properties methods, that becomes a mess and it's hard to maintain over time. So as you can see, it's a broad concept. So if they want full name, instead of creating another property called full name here and just modifying the internal structure, what we do is we just create another accessor function. Okay, so that's the whole point. Public function get full name, and we simply return. So what we can do is we can say this first name, and then we can concatenate, make space, concatenate this surname. Awesome, beautiful. Now get full name. Let's try. We don't want first name, we want full name. Let's see. Awesome, right? Now you can do so much more in real life. For example, let's say we want all these letters to be uppercase. Let's wrap them in str to upper. Okay, so you can apply a lot of logic, do all sorts of things, but internal structure stays the same. So it's better approach, as you can see. So this is the benefit. This is how we apply encapsulation. Okay, now we can do some more. Methods. In fact, let's do it. They're fun. Public. Let's do get email, and set email. Okay, so because so far we only looked at the accessor, I want to show you the mutator as well, also known as setter. Getter, setter, or accessor mutators. Okay, so public function, let's call this get email. Okay, return this email. Okay, and now let's copy this one, will be set email. Okay, so how we set email, we take the argument email. We can even specify type hint string. Let's say we want to make sure it's string that we're getting, and then instead of return, what we do is this email we set to the incoming email that is coming from the argument. Awesome. Okay, so we have the getters, we have the setters, and these are getters, access. Okay, that's awesome. Now in init.php, we can get the full name, we can set the email. In fact, let's get the email and see first. Get email. Okay, we have the email run at colorado.com. that is how we instantiate. For example, let's say we want to modify it. What we can do is we can set email, because we have that method set email, and then we can pass in the new email, right? Run at yahoo.com. Okay, we can set that, and after setting, let's see if it changes. Okay, so just copy that, get email again. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so before it was Ryan, and then it set, the new email. So now we see Ryan at yahoo.com. So as you can see, we can not only access, but we can set as well. Awesome, right? This is how we use encapsulation. You provide getters and setters so that the private stays private, and still the code outside of this class can access the properties and methods. Okay. Now in the next video, we're going to learn about static properties and methods. Okay. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.